Well, I think the first point to make is that COVID has tended to increase the global inequalities that existed already. And I think we're at a crux in global geopolitics, whereby the traditional neoliberal hegemony, focusing on principles of free market privatization, the rolling back of government, is indeed being challenged. And we've seen that in the US recently. And new coalitions of interest are coming to play. And I don't think it's really innovation that is behind that global reset. To be sure, innovation has been absolutely crucial for the development of new vaccines, the ways in which they're rolled out. But if you look at what I've generally seen as the leading innovative countries, Switzerland, Sweden, the US, UK, Netherlands, they're not necessarily where the present, let alone the future, global geopolitical strengths are. And structural inequalities existed long before COVID-19. And what we have to do is have creative ways of innovating in the interests of the poorest and the most marginalized. And digital tech can do that, but we have to ensure that the harms and the challenges it faces, not least to our environment, are mitigated.
Dr. Pangestu, how can we do things differently when it comes to innovation?
It can't be business as usual anymore because we are facing a twin crisis, which is the development challenges that we accentuated by COVID, whether it's poverty increasing by 100 million or the increased inequality that we expect to happen, explained by Tim earlier. And we have the climate crisis. We have to make sure that there is digital connectivity. Fourth, research and development, we need to really encourage at all levels, not just at the science labs, but at all different levels. And there has to be sharing and cooperation.
I would see innovation in a slightly different way, because I would place the emphasis more on technical innovation. Digital technologies often increase inequalities. They may contribute to economic growth, but at the same time, as Dr. Pangestu was saying, if you don't have access, you're going to get left further and further behind. As Professor Tan Ming said in China, there was a focus on the poorest and the most marginalized. That's where we must begin. We must work to develop communal innovation, sustainable bottom-up approaches. The answer is really in the systems of incentives, tax regimes and regulations that governments are able to put in place to enable that innovation to take place. Enabling private sector innovation, but also providing an environment where we can rethink how innovation can be used for the poorest and the most marginalized. And I actually think it'd be much more effective for the global community to do that. We do know how to enable the poor to benefit from the digital technology, but by and large, across the world, they're not. The poorest and most marginalized are being left out. Let's do what we know, but do it better and in the interests communally and sustainably.